High Level is a full CRM and marketing platform, and I've used some of the best in the SaaS industry. And we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Wait, did I say Twitter? We're not live on Twitter. X that out. That's just like old, like weird stamp in my mind of back in the day. But X just requires you to go and pay before you go live on there. And I don't do that. Sorry, Elon. So yeah, we're not live on X, but we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Matt's YouTube. He is on our show as a guest from Cherry Apparel. We have Matt Fogarty, but you'll be introduced to him and Alicia, our other guest here, very soon. But welcome to the show, Andrew, AP. We're happy to have you here. If you're here in the chat, let us know where are you tuning in from and what it is that you do for a living so that we can keep this conversation as relevant for you as possible. I did see an error that LinkedIn might have issues tonight. So if that's the situation for you, head on over to LinkedIn and watch us over there. There's sometimes better quality. But yeah, did I say LinkedIn? YouTube has better quality. LinkedIn's having issues. But anyway, yeah, talk to us tonight. Keep us honest. And we're going to get into some really great topics. But of course, before we do, I want to encourage you, per usual, to delegate and scale your business with a virtual assistant. And I'm talking about a Cherry Assistant virtual assistant. Just scan that QR code that you're seeing on the screen or go to cherryassistant.com and let them know that you heard about them through Wednesday to get a VA who's aligned with the needs that you are seeking. So, are you looking for an executive assistant? Are you looking for a video editor? What is it that you need? And get aligned with someone who has those skills somewhere in the world where they can work the hours that are relevant for you. So check out Cherry Assistant if you're looking for a VA and they're a VA placement service. Also, I want to encourage you to check out reviting.com/high level. And so basically, if you know me, you know that I white label High Level. So we use it as app.reviting.com. Our clients get on it. It's a CRM and marketing automation platform. And, I used some of the blast platforms as you heard in the intro video. And now I'm using High Level and I help clients use that as well to basically help monitor the leads that we help them bring in through their live streams and podcasts. But basically, it's a really great way to build landing pages, to send your newsletter, which FYI, if you're not on my newsletter, go to revening.com/newsletter and subscribe now. That just went out today. But on High Level, there's so much you can do, and we're happy to help you optimize. So if you sign up with one of our services, you get access to our white label version of it. But you can also sign up for your own. We are affiliates, so get a 30-day free trial on our affiliate link at reviting.com/high level. You can use that QR code if you're watching on video, or if you're listening on podcasts, like I said, reviting.com/high level. Try it out. And I get a 40% cut if you use that link. So it's to my advantage to help you out. Again, if you're tuning in, let us know where are you tuning in from? What are you up to tonight? What industry are you in? Keep us honest. We want to make this relevant for you. But I want to bring in tonight's guest. I'm super excited to introduce to you one of actually the Riveting's clients. He said he could mention that. Matt Fogarty with Cherry Willow Apparel. They go live on their live stream that hopefully you'll tell us about. But we also have someone who we just met in regular Wednesday fashion. We typically meet our guests right pre-show. We've got Alicia Henley. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
really excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Jesse.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you both for being here. And we're going to do what we always do and put up that 2-minute clock and ask you both to give us an intro. And Alicia, since you are first now joining us for the first time and we're just meeting, could you please kick us off on your 2-minute intro? And what we usually ask people is tell us everything we can't find about you on LinkedIn. We want your real human life story from birth to what brought you to now in 2 minutes. No pressure.
Go. Good evening. My name is Alicia Henley. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Spent most of my adult life in Chicago, Illinois, and 7 years ago moved to St. Louis, Missouri. I have been a marketer. That's all I kind of know how to do. And I think after 30 years, I'm good at it, and I probably should be after 30 years. I've worked in a myriad of industries before starting my own business. After turning 50, go me, who starts a business after the age of 50, me. I am married, no children, and the youngest of 6. So that is a little bit about me that you can't find on my public pages.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And you're a Midwesterner at heart, and so am I.
Yes, I am.
Nice. So I
Me
grew up in
too.
Illinois. And we've
Ah,
got, yes, you are. That's right. You're in Chicago, right, Matt?
Yeah, and I was born and raised in Ohio. So,
shut up.
oh yeah,
And I'm in Ohio now. I'm in Columbus, but I was born and raised in Illinois.
look at that.
Love it.
Small little Midwest world. Well, thank you, LinkedIn, for bringing us all together as well as Quoted. That's another website I think we were using to meet you, Alicia. But I'm so excited for tonight's topics. Before we get into it, Matt, we need to hear your full life story from
Yeah,
birth to what brought you to now. And if you don't mind, maybe giving a little bit of a shout out to your live stream that we get to work on together.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so my name is Matt Fogarty. I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. And then I have been in Chicago for the last 15 years. Originally came to Chicago to study at Loyola University. I studied finance and sports management, and then became a father at a very young age. So instead of pursuing a career in finance or sports management, I sought the best opportunity to provide for my young family, which was in sales. So I have a background in sales and marketing. I started my career primarily focused on the automotive industry and would consult with dealerships on the entire customer experience, from getting connected with that dealership originally to the apparel that they see the staff wearing when they come into the dealership, the impact that having a continuous customer journey that's mindful, that really focuses in on all of the facets of that customer experience and not just the interactions between salespeople and clients. And then from there, I took a leap into a couple of different startups. I was with a fintech startup and also a business intelligence startup, which I was laid off from, and that was kind of the spark for me to launch into my own business, Cherry Willow Apparel, which Jesse helps me with a live stream once a month, but that we do Apparel with Purpose. And it's really exciting. We work with nonprofits and help them use apparel as a fundraising stream. And then also for the marketing component, that having supporters of your organization wearing a cause that they're passionate about is a great opportunity to get your message out there in your community and get you connected with more people that can hopefully support your organization. So it's just a little bit about me.
Amazing. Well, it's an honor to support you and Apparel with Purpose, which is a great podcast, but I'm sure we'll get into that and a little bit more. I'm going to take the clock off the screen. Let's see here. Where's that? Boom. And let's get into topic number 1, which is Alicia, your topic, marketing. Why every business needs one. Oh man, I'm so glad that we're talking about this because we love to get into the tactics, but we are not always great about getting into the strategy. So please kick us off here and give us some knowledge, Alicia.
So, why every business needs a strategy? Um, it really is your guide to the tactical execution that you should be doing, and it makes everything work together. Oftentimes, customers come to me and say, I need to be on social media, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And when I ask them why, they don't really have an answer because they haven't thought through what it is they should be doing. They just heard they should be doing social media or feel like they need a LinkedIn or a Facebook. They don't even know who their target audience is. So, stepping back and actually creating that strategy will help understand all of the things that you need to correctly, effectively, and efficiently execute the tactical requirements. Strategy is such a critical step because it helps identify what your goals are, and that helps create the tactics to reach those goals. And then you measure, create the measurements of the tactics to ensure that all of the things are working together. So you create your objectives. You talk about overall high level marketing, market, what's happening in the market. You identify the characteristics of your target audiences, your personas. How are your competitors in the space? What is your messaging? All of that comes together. And if you take time to do that up front, the tactics become so much easier.
You are so right. The tactics become so much easier when we think through the strategy. So, what would before I mean, I could talk all day on marketing strategy, Matt. So, I'm going to hand it over to you and see what's your take on this.
Yeah, I guess something for me and my experience that people have always struggled with is kind of that balance between that seeing a return on investment from a marketing standpoint. So, how do you coach people from a strategic standpoint to help them understand the holistic approach that marketing really benefits that organization, and not exclusively focus on a direct one-to-one dollar attribution?
So I think that really comes with the education, right? As marketers, we understand that, but people want results tomorrow. And marketing, what I tell my clients is marketing is a long-term game. It is about consistency and it is about content and it's about storytelling. People do business with people they trust. So if they don't know who you are, they don't know what you do or what you stand for or what you bring, what you can provide to them, because it's always what's in it for me, then they're never going to do business with you. But that is also not going to happen overnight. It's not like Apple started advertising one day and then they quit when people knew who they were. You see just as many Apple ads today as you did when you didn't even know what Apple was. You thought Apple was a Granny Smith because it is a continuous thing.
For sure, definitely. Thank you for reminding us of that and about the importance of marketing strategy. So, like, I see this all the time where businesses will be like, why isn't my marketing working? I've done this over and over again. And that typically is a red flag that maybe, just maybe, it's your product market fit and your audience isn't aligned or you're on the wrong channels. Something isn't working in your strategy. So instead of just like sitting and nitpicking on the tactic or the channel, it's good to always go back to your strategy and be like, and let's get into that really quick. Just to give people like a real actionable takeaway, Alicia, like if they were going to make a really basic marketing strategy,
Ultimately, it's more customers, but you have to create some brand awareness, whether that's, followers on social media or more people subscribing to your newsletter. Whatever that is, outline what those goals are. Secondarily, you need to know who you're targeting, and you need to know the characteristics of those people that you're targeting. Where do they consume information? That's where you want to be. If you're targeting 18-year-olds, Facebook isn't a thing for them. If you're targeting 65-year-olds, you're not going to be on TikTok likely. So understanding where your target audience is consuming information, messaging, make your messaging clear. Make it about the client, not about your company. What is the value that you bring to the people that you're trying to service? Understanding the channels that are available to you. And I appreciate that Matt will be talking about partnerships later, because that is a very critical part of your strategy, getting in front of other people's audiences to expand your reach. And the final thing, which is most critical, is measurement. You have to ensure that you're measuring what you're doing and using that data to go back to your strategy, update it, and keep it working for you.
And that gets forgotten quite often, the measurement piece, especially
Absolutely.
considering those KPIs before they go out to measure them. But yeah, before we wrap up on marketing strategy, Matt, I want to invite you to see, do you have any reactions to anything we've been talking about thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I love the focus on really just understanding who you're marketing to and where they're at. I think that is a crucial component, that people will just blast a message like, oh, well, we're really good at this and we want this to be known. And it's like, okay, well, who actually needs that? Where are those people looking for that service? And how can you communicate this message in a way that solves their problem, not focuses on something that you think is really good? So like that for me is always something that I'm not surprised by it anymore, but people, they just want to blast out their message like, we're great at XYZ. And it's like, okay, but how does that actually benefit your clientele? And how do you communicate that in a way that they would want to take advantage of your services? So I love that you focus on that and putting together that strategy, and then being able to measure it and iterate, right? Because like you may think that this is a great strategy, and then maybe it's not connecting with the audience, it's not resonating, and then you find this other group of individuals that it is resonating with, and then you have the ability to pivot. So I think those are all crucial things from that conversation that I took away.
Awesome. So glad to hear it. Yeah, we have to start with our strategy. Thank you so much, Alicia, for sharing with that. Let's transition now into our second topic. So, Matt, sales versus marketing, key differences explained. Actually, no, that's not the second topic. The second topic is collaborative growth. This is where Rayla and I start clicking up on each other. Collaborative growth boosts business through partnerships. Now, you've been instrumental about finding different partnerships that have been super valuable for Cherry Willow. I know because you bring them on your live stream that
Yep.
I'm honored to help you with. So kick us off on partnerships and how you go about finding partners and nurturing them, and also like having them help you build your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I started Cherry Willow, I mentioned in my brief interview that I worked from an automotive like marketing and branding background, but I saw how important apparel was in that customer experience. And so that's something, as we established our own nonprofit to be an organization that's about wearable advocacy, to create those opportunities for in-person connection, through representing an organization that you're passionate about. What we wanted to do is go out and be an example of that ourselves with Cherry Willow, but then also help support other nonprofits in that way. And so that's really where the partnerships have come in. We identify organizations that have an aligned message and are working on, solving similar problems that we are at Cherry Willow. We're focused on homelessness, but we work with nonprofits across the spectrum, from foster care to even businesses that are just wanting to advocate for people experiencing poverty or help to provide solutions. And so that's really when I look at what makes a partnership successful, it's focusing on alignment. If you're aligned from the beginning, you're seeking to serve a similar cause or purpose, that's a great partnership in the making. And then going back to, one of the topics that Alicia had spoke about was accountability and kind of that transparency and being able to measure the impact. So that's something that with the apparel, we provide all of the fulfillment. We try to make it as easy as possible to partner with us so that these organizations can get their message out there, so that they can use apparel as a way to raise funds for their organization. And so that's really what I look at, is to make it be a collaborative effort. The most successful partnerships are not one-sided. They're both people that have a vested interest in the partnership succeeding. They're both marketing that partnership, both explaining the benefits of it. And that's one of the reasons why, we use the live stream to platform our partners, give them an opportunity to speak about the impactful work that they do, and hopefully get them connected with people that want to support their work in their communities.
Yeah, I love, and I'm so honored to help you with your live stream, Apparel with a Purpose. It's seriously, it has a purpose, and you're bringing on amazing partners who are helping you expand what you're doing. And I love seeing people take business and do something that's good with it. And man, what a complex topic like homelessness. And you are just doing what you can to tackle it. And I loved what you were doing with your promotion, with your bike route, and you're like,
Yeah.
getting out there and raising awareness, and that's so incredible. But before I go on and share any more of my thoughts, Alicia, I want to hear your take in terms of like partnerships. What have you done to capitalize on partnerships?
I love the fact that Matt said the two partners should be aligned in their mission and vision, because that's critical. You don't want your brand to be associated with another company, another organization that doesn't fit and align with what you believe and what your value system and culture is for your company. So that was definitely high on my list when he said it. It puts you in front of new audiences, right? Like it has to be mutually beneficial. And if you take advantage of it the right way, whether that's, having backlinks on your website or having referral partners, whatever that is, you're still taking care of your customer, whether you're providing that service or whether one of your partners is.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned backlinks. That's something that, like when going back to the marketing and how people find and get connected with businesses now, like being able to support your other organizations and your partners and help increase the popularity on Google, right? That's essentially what search engines now is a popularity contest.
Mhm.
And having those backlinks, having those additional channels that are referencing you, the search engines view you as an authority on, the topics that your business exists for. And so that helps tremendously. And that's actually part of, the partnership model that we have at Cherry Willow. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
And I love the fact that you have your clients on your podcast like that. Again, mutually beneficial. You're doing something for them, they're doing something for you. Both of you are winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really just the key to the partnerships, is just making sure that, like you said, focus on alignment, and then we're both working to help each other grow, because we know if one of us grows and gets more exposure, then that's just going to bring up the other entity, and so it's always doesn't not like you're comparing against each other. You're both just
Yep,
working together to kind of further collaborate and accelerate that growth.
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And I love having clients like Matt and Cherry Willow who are willing to just collaborate and work together and roll up our sleeves and figure out how we can both benefit from each other's efforts. So it's been really an honor to work with you. And I can see why it's been really great for you to have partners, because you're so great at partnership, Matt. I can speak to that as well. But just to wrap up this topic in terms of collaborative growth, boost business through partnerships, anything else you might add, Matt?
Um, I mean, really, I think just kind of when you're thinking about getting into partners, like look at gaps in your coverage area or services that maybe another partner they can fill. So like if you're supporting a client in a certain way and you're always getting clients that are asking you about services that are related to yours but your business doesn't directly fulfill, that's a great way to get more of that like referral type of partnership. And those can turn into great mutually beneficial partnerships as well, because there's always people that are looking for solutions. And once you establish that trust, then you can really start to feed each other interested parties that want to not only maybe partner with you from an apparel standpoint for Cherry Willow, for example, but maybe if they want to have some other level of business dealings, that's a great way to kind of build your network through partnerships that way with like the referrals.
Mm, yeah, great point. Thank you so much for adding that in there. What would be your take on that, Alicia?
Totally agree. Ditto.
Yep, 100%. Okay, well, we've got more in terms of sales and marketing, and we're going to be talking about sales versus marketing, key differences explained, and mission-driven merch, boost brand and purpose. So we'll be getting into those topics right after these messages from Cherry Willow. Actually, from Cherry Assistant. And we'll play the right.
This is Mike, also known as Clean with Mike on Twitter. Mike hired a virtual assistant from Cherry Assistant about 2 years ago. Now he has a $50K per month business, fully managed by a remote operator in South Africa. His VA from South Africa does the following: closing inbound leads on the phone, Yelp and Google and Facebook, manages his CRM on Gulf High Level, deals with rescheduling, cancellations, any issues, hires and manages the cleaners, and sends them daily reports and updates. Mike has a fully cash flowing business managed by a remote operator for only $8 an hour. You can also hire a US equivalent worker in the Philippines, South Africa, Latin America for a fraction of the cost with Cherry Assistant. Be like Mike and grow your business with offshore staff.
If you're seeing this later on podcast, then right now we're seeing a menu showing some of the things they offer, including lead generation, CRM management, prospecting assistance, sales presentation preparation, data entry and cleanup, customer support, project management assistance, and so much more. So just work with Cherry Assistants. I mean, I said assistants, but it's assistant. I've had a great experience working with them. I don't promote brands that I haven't personally had a great experience with. Layla, who is just moving around camera angles for me, she's from Cherry Assistant. DJ Kim is a founder of Cherry Assistant. Grateful for him and his efforts. And also, our video editor, Oscar, who helps us with what our client work, they're with Cherry Assistant as well. So there's a lot of different things you can do with a VA and have them help you scale. And you can delegate some of the menial tasks you're working on. Just head on over to Cherry Assistant. But also, if you're tuning in today, let us know where you're tuning in from. Like, pause really quick for our intermission. We want to hear from our audience. Keep us honest here. We're talking about partnerships. We're talking about sales and marketing. And right now, we're going to be talking about the difference between sales and marketing. But before we do, I'm going to talk about high level really quick. And when I do, I just want to ask both of our guests, since we had them pulled up there, like, have either of you used high level? Matt, I know you have.
Yeah.
Alicia, what about you? Have you heard of high level?
Believe it or not, I just switched to high level about 3 months ago.
Yes, that's what I love to hear.
And
So
loving every minute of it.
tell us more. Do you mind sharing your experience? Because I talk about it all the time.
Um, it is very rare that you find a tool that is designed for marketers, right? We always seem to fit
Yes.
into something else. And it really seems that they've done a really good job at outlining the things that I need to do for both my business as well as my clients. So again, I'm new to it. I've only been with them for 3 months, I believe. And it has been a very good experience. They're so available for questions from not just me, but my team as well. So it's very easy to use. Yeah, I speak very highly of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with high level. If anyone would like to try out high level, I use it within my business, Reviting. We white label it app.reviting.com, and we give access to all of our clients so they get their own sub account. but I don't like to like gatekeep. So I also like to help businesses become their own agencies with high level. So use our link at reviting.com/high level. There is a QR code. I don't know, Layla, if you can pull it up really quick, where you can also just use our affiliate link if you're watching on video. Use the QR code. Like I said, reviting.com/high level will get you the 30-day free trial with high level. And try it out. It's got marketing features, it's got sales features, it's your CRM and your marketing automation platform. And if you sign up, then you'll get 3 accounts. So you essentially become an agency. And I benefit because I get 40% commission, and I can tell you so much more after the show if you want to reach out. But yeah, just sign up for the free trial and you can learn for yourself. I digress. Let's get back into these hot topics, sales versus marketing. Okay, Alicia, can you kick us off? Was this
I
yours?
sure can. Yes,
Okay, thank you so much.
of course. Go ahead, admit it. You have thought sales and marketing was the same thing. I know you have. We all have. And we couldn't be more wrong. They work very well together. They complement each other, but they are different things. They're different concepts that have different strategies, different activities, different processes, and sometimes different goals. So, m- sales, let's start with sales. Sales is operates on a one-to-one basis most time. It is an interaction. It is a transaction. Marketing markets one to many most times. It kind of sets up sales. So, if you're playing a volleyball game and they set it up and then the next person spikes it down to get the point, that's what sales and marketing does. Marketing sets it up for sales to build the relationship and close the sale. So all of the things marketing does, it creates brand awareness. It expands the reach. It educates people on what it is you do. Sometimes people don't understand what it is you do, and there's a modicum of education that needs to happen. So marketing does all of that. It tells the story. It shows what you have done with your previous clients. And then they get those leads, and marketing nurtures those leads, and they set it up for the salesperson to come in and take that relationship, build it, and actually close the sale for that person to become a customer. Again, they work very well together and they complement each other, but they are different things.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Alicia. They work well together, but they are different things. I used to always say on here, the best salespeople were marketers, the best marketers were salespeople. Kind of reminds me of that. It is
Yeah,
good to have some of the same skill sets on each side.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I love what you had to say about that. And I know that it's always fun to, not fun, but it always happens where we're arguing about attribution, where a lead came from, or what are
Mhm.
some of the things that like divide us, and how would you help unite us over those things?
I think, excuse me, the relationship between marketing and sales really needs to be nurtured because, to your point, the best marketers were salespeople and the best salespeople were marketers because they understand what each other does, and they understand the codependence of each other in order for the business to be successful and to grow, because it is that codependence, right? So, excuse me, um, there are products and services that marketing again has to communicate, tell the story, and then the salespeople, they kind of bunt it to the salespeople who nurtures that relationship, right? Because some products or service have a long lead time versus some have a very short lead time. But if the marketer hasn't done his job and told the potential client the benefit of having that or the value of having that, then the salesperson has to start from scratch. They have to do that cold call, right? Because the marketer hasn't done his job of warming and nurturing that lead to educate, to get it to the salesperson to close the sale.
Would love to hear from the audience. What's your take on all of this? And Matt, what would you say about this?
Yeah, I mean, I love the volleyball analogy. I played volleyball growing up, so like setting setting up sales to kind of get the kill, I think is a very appropriate analogy. And for me, like as a marketer, I always like to think of it as like someone needs to see your brand anywhere between 7 to 9 times before they trust it. And so as a marketer, like you have to understand most of the clients are not ready to buy now, but my job is for them to think of me when they are ready to buy.
Yes.
And so for that, you're kind of a wide solution, that one to many approach. Like we can do all of these different things. And then when it comes to sales, like their job is to really dive in and understand the specific reason, the specific problem that this person came to solve. So marketing did a great job saying, oh, we can solve all of these kind of problems. We're a great organization, all of these different things that attract this person in. Now the salesperson's job is really understand the specific need of that client and make sure that they tailor the solution to that individual customer, so that they feel really heard. And that's how I kind of see them supporting each other.
Yeah, I appreciate your input on that. And again, invite anyone from the audience to share your take here, or if you have any questions or just comments on how you've seen marketing and sales sort of relate to each other or not relate to each other. I think it's always super interesting. I think, what you said, Matt, might be an understatement for me. I think I take probably 40 impressions before I trust your brand.
And I was just going to say, that 7 to 9 times has been the historical thing that, it takes 7 to 9 times for somebody to see it. But in this digital age where people are consumed by so much information all around them, I bet the research will show that 7 to 9 times is probably 5 or 10 times more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm just chatting with some of the folks over on YouTube, and we've got some on LinkedIn, but let us know where you're tuning in from, what industry you're in, and let's get into our final topic. But before we do, anything else either of you want to say on sales versus marketing and key differences explained?
I have actually a quote that I want to share that I pulled from a Harvard Business Review. It says, "There's no question that when sales and marketing work together, companies see substantial improvement on important performance metrics. Sales cycles are shorter and market entry costs go down, and the cost of sales is lower." So making sure that you have alignment between your sales and marketing teams is critical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say like the best organizations, when they have that cohesive relationship, like if we even go back to the partnerships, if sales and marketing, they view each other as partnering with each other and they're able to celebrate each other's successes and wins, that's a great solution to kind of the problem, where it's like if you're not fighting over attribution and you can just both be happy when the marketing is complementing sales and sales is complementing marketing. I think that is a great synergy that organizations can work to develop.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you both for sharing that. Thank you. I see David in the chat tagging some people. Definitely tag any of your other friends who might find this of interest. And let's get into our final topic, which here we go. We've got David coming. So let's pull it back up. Actually, what did he say? There's no question that when marketing, and I think he was just quoting you, that when marketing and sales work together, companies see performance go up because of cost of sales is lower and entry to market is easier. Harvard Business Review. Such a great quote. Yes, thanks for putting that in writing. And thank you for sharing it, Alicia. It's super powerful. It's really important that we do work together. So I want to do my part, and I want to encourage the audience, do your part, work together with your fellow sales and marketing, and make sure that you are aligned. Alignment is a great thing. But let's get into our final topic, which is mission-driven merch. So Matt, of course, this is a little bit about like what Cherry Willow does, and boost. It's like mission-driven merch and how you can boost your brand with purpose. So why don't you just kick us off on this topic?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think particularly for us, when we were kind of going back to some of the themes we've already talked about, one of the things with our strategy was how do we get in front of younger audiences? So millennials such as myself and Gen Z typically are more socially minded, but in the nonprofit world, they're not maybe affluent enough to be, large philanthropic donors. But one of the things that we identified was a lot of younger people are looking for more sustainable organizations to support. So we are somewhat modeled after like a Bombas, which they have a one-to-one model of giving, a pair of socks to shelters for every pair of socks purchased. Then you have organizations like Tom's, where they contribute a fixed percentage of their revenue towards mental health. And so there's a lot of instances where organizations, specifically in the apparel space, another one that comes to mind is Patagonia, that focuses on sustainability and they invest in environmental advocacy. So our goal was to not only limit from a Bombas standpoint, like we could both be wearing Bombas socks right now, but we wouldn't know that we're both passionate about supporting people experiencing homelessness. So the goal with Cherry Willow and our nonprofit partners is to leverage your merchandise, and when what you wear is part of your identity, and so you're able to show up and really represent a cause that you're passionate about in a way that allows you to connect and communicate with the people right next to you. That's one of the things about technology and the smartphone use. It's wonderful because we're able to have this live stream, being in Ohio, St. Louis, and Chicago. But it also can allow you to disconnect from the person who is right next to you. And so with apparel, it can spark that conversation. And then you can really, represent that mission of the organization and start to have those connections out in the community, which is one of the cool things about apparel. And that's how we work with our organizations. And that's some of the coaching that we provide them on ways to get in touch and market their organization's impact in a kind of unique way.
It's such a great mission that you have to sort of use apparel to end homelessness. And I love that you mentioned all the other brands. So how did you get inspiration to start Cherry Willow?
Yeah, so I started in the automotive space, and so I worked with dealerships to really kind of go through that customer experience. So like the staff, the uniforms that they were wearing, making sure that it was a professional environment, a comfortable environment. And then through some of my personal experiences with some loved ones that dealt with mental health challenges, I saw how the system had kind of failed them in a lot of ways. And I wanted to combine my skills and my background to be able to do something that was really impactful for me. And so I wanted to leverage that apparel experience, that marketing and branding experience, to really be an advocate for other nonprofits and the great work that they do. Nonprofits are typically really great at services. They're really amazing at supporting the people that they exist to support, but they oftentimes are not investing in really scaling that impact from a marketing perspective. So, apparel is a unique way to do that. And, not only just through apparel, but just coaching on, really investing in getting your message out there, and not with just data, but also with the storytelling component. And so that's why I loved, what Alicia shared earlier about how marketing is about telling a story and, really connecting that story and giving as many different ways for people to connect with that story as possible. That's what we wanted to do with Cherry Willow. And that's how I came up with the idea, by watching some of the kindness content. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube, where like someone will go out, they'll do an act of kindness for, someone experiencing homelessness or for a single mother that's in the grocery line or whatever the case. And so I wanted to find a way to tie in supporting the people whose emotional story was really generating all of that interest, all of those views, and not just support the creator. And so that's what we did with the apparel by, allowing people to come up with their own designs, to advocate for their own missions, and, to see some financial reward from that as well.
Well, I'm really glad that you did that. Thank you so much for sharing and for getting into it. And, we're coming up toward the end of the episode. So want to check in with the audience. How's everyone doing? What is your take here? Do you purchase from any of these brands that have the like feel good missions that go along with them? Does it make you want to buy from them? Like, what's your take here? And Matt, I'm just curious, and Alicia, maybe you too, like, what are some of the other brands that are doing this? It seems like it started to get really big in 2020 to have like political and like mission focused brands.
Yeah, I don't know, Alicia, if you have any off the top of your head, I could probably rattle off a few more.
So a lot of my clients are in fact nonprofits as well. And I love, Matt, how you say they don't do a good job of telling their story, or, the people who subscribe to these nonprofits are very committed to them, and they'll go outside with a shirt on in a second if they had the shirt on available for them to do it. And they just don't think about those types of things, whether, it's a shirt, a t-shirt, a bumper sticker, a button, just very simple things that expands their reach, and somebody will see it and say, hey, what's that?
Yeah. I love that you said like the hey, what's that? It's like that spark is sometimes all that you need. And apparel is a really cool way to do that.
Absolutely. Especially if it's something fun and something that catches their eye, and they're looking at you like, I've never seen that. What is that? And then again, it sparks conversation.
Yeah. And I think that's, again, like most nonprofits, they're usually overworked, so it's like they're already struggling just to balance everything that they're doing for their clients. And it's usually very emotionally taxing work also.
Absolutely.
So it's, that's why I love to be able to support them. And why we make it really easy to partner with us and create that cool design and just spark those conversations. That's, at the end of the day, all of the work that I do is about inspiring people to just take that act of kindness. Like I think I saw you comment, Jesse, that one single act of kindness each day, collectively, there's 300 million people in this country. Like if we all operated more on that way, we could really have a better sense of community.
Well, I'm going to be connecting with you offline, Matt. Some of my clients might need your services.
Awesome. I would love to help.
Amazing. Well, I love hearing that. I love when we can help bring people together and connect people here on Wednesday. And I'm sure there might be other folks here who may want to be connected with you. So toward the end of the episode, we'll make sure that we get your contact information. But before then, we've got the Guru of the Week. Ooh, ooh. Every week, we like to ask both of our guests who it is that inspires you on LinkedIn. Like we want to diversify our LinkedIn. We just spent the last hour getting inspired by you. So who inspires you? I'm going to pull myself out. If you could both drum roll, share who is your Guru of the Week. Gonna pull it up here.
Matt, you go first.
Okay. So my Guru of the Week is Dan Drucker. Dan runs Philanthropy Fuel. He has a really great newsletter that I believe comes out every Sunday. He's helped me get connected with other organizations in the nonprofit space, and he has a background more from a corporate sales. And when he left that corporate world, he wanted to support nonprofits, and so I've learned a lot from him, and also made a lot of really great connections in the nonprofit space. And so I highly recommend, if you're interested in supporting nonprofits or learning more about nonprofit operations or how nonprofits can operate and scale, have more of that business mindset. He's a great follow for that, and provides great content on LinkedIn, and then also has that weekly newsletter. So I highly recommend you checking out his content.
My Guru of the Week is Dr. Dustin York. He is the professor of communications at Maryville University here in St. Louis. He also leads many workshops and serves as keynote speakers on communication and innovation of branding. I like Dustin because he believes simply meeting the status quo is boring. So everything that he posts has some really unique and quirky spin, and it's some stuff, it's new gems that he pulls out, but whatever it is, the presentation is done in a way that you think, I could probably do that. And then you're motivated to actually go try. So he just has some really cool ways of presenting basic information.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for sharing about these two gurus of the week. I did try to go tag Dustin, and I couldn't. There's a lot of Dustin Yorks, as you might imagine. So I'm not connected with him. So I don't know if you can come back into the chat on LinkedIn later and give him a tag so we can find
Yeah,
it.
will
Looks like
do.
has his picture. So Layla, I don't know if you're here in the background, if you could still tag him and congratulate him for being the guru of the week. And Dan, I know him. He used to come to the show all the time.
Oh,
Dan, we would love to have you on as a guest, and same with you, Dustin. Reach out. We'll give you the booking link. But until then, we are still interested in learning about both of you. So could you both let the audience know a little bit more about yourselves? Like what it is you exactly do, who you serve, how you serve them, and if they could be served from you, like or by you, then how can they reach out to you? And we'll start with you, Alicia.
I am the CEO of A Dose of Insight, your marketing remedy, and we provide marketing services from developing holistic strategies through to the execution of those strategies for small businesses as well as nonprofits across the US. Many of my clients are here in the Midwest, but I can serve clients anywhere. My team and I have over 30 years of experience in the space doing just marketing. So I would love to help you tell your story.
That's such a beautiful story right there in itself. So thank you, Alicia, for sharing. And then Matt, how about you?
Yeah, so I am the founder and president of Cherry Willow Apparel. So again, we are an apparel line that's all about wearable advocacy. So we support nonprofits and help them create a really unique apparel collection that they can provide for their staff or volunteers, but then also put up for sale to help raise funds in a different way, create awareness in a different way. And really, the marketing benefit is just as impactful as the fundraising benefit. There's no better way for people to learn about your organization than by people who are passionate about supporting you, telling that story of why they're connected with you when they meet people in person. So it's just a really great way to kind of keep that story going and to allow your supporters, your staff, your volunteers to tell that story and just pique the curiosity and have that little spark. And you never know where that might take you or who might get connected to you.
That's right. You never know. Well, this has been an excellent episode. So, again, thank you both so much for coming on and for sharing your expertise, your guru of the week, and then also how people can reach out to you and how you serve them. I hope someone in the audience might do that and reach out because they'd definitely benefit. But next week we have more great guests, so be sure to check out Lindsay Dowd and Blake Baxendell, who will be coming on August 13th. So same time, same place. We put at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time, 5 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday. Now this same late hour of 8 p.m. again here on LinkedIn. We've got YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. And Facebook all going live. And this is repurposed to podcast, short form video. And of course, we're helping our clients do all of that and more. So if that's something that you would like help with, be sure to just head on over to reveting.com and contact us. We'd be glad to help you get started. There's also pricing right on the page. But tonight's been really great. Thank you again so much, Alicia and Matt, for joining. I'm going to go ahead and close us out with a video.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.